Hi, this is Archana. Today I am going to discuss about the translay relay. Okay, this is the modified form of voltage balanced differential relay which is discussed in the last class. So, last class they have gone for the voltage balanced differential relay. In this relay there is a major disadvantage. The disadvantage is because this is the mainly used for the protection of feeders. Okay, feeder means it is a very long. So, the distance between the two CTs is very high. Okay, this is the main feeder line. This is the main feeder line. For a feeder means it is a very long. So, the distance between the CT1 and CT2 is very high. Okay, as the length is very high, it is in kilometers. As the length is very high, it is in kilometers. Okay, as the length is very high, because we know that between two conductors, the capacitance effect is there. Okay, for low, very small length, the capacitance value is negligible. For if the length will be increased, automatically the effect of capacitance is also increased. Okay, so the capacitance effect is there will be in if length increases. Okay, the capacitance effect will also be added. Okay, obviously the charging current, okay, IC will be increased. How? This capacitive current passes, as capacitive current passes through the relay, okay, and cross through the hole and trip the overcurrent relay. Okay, overcurrent relay. This is the major disadvantage in the voltage balanced differential relay. In previous class we discussed about the voltage balanced differential relay. We are having the two major disadvantages in the voltage balanced differential relay. The two disadvantages are overcome by using this translay relay. That is the first disadvantage in the voltage balanced differential relay. Voltage balanced differential relay maloperates if the capacitive current of fillet wires are more than the pickup value of the relay. Okay, if the capacitive current of the fillet wire is more than the pickup value, then the relay will be maloperated. This is the one of the major disadvantage in the voltage balanced differential relay. Okay, next one is that the voltage balance is directly applied to the secondaries of the line CTs. This is a secondary of the line CT. That voltage balance is directly applied to the secondary of the line CT, and hence the special design of CT is required. Okay, that special design will be avoided by using the translay relay. That is the another disadvantage of a voltage balanced differential relay. Okay, the second disadvantage is the secondary side of our CTs are open circuited. This is the CTs, CT1 and CT2. Okay, this is the feeder line, protective system element. The CT1 will be connected to the relay 1 and CT1 another element is connected to the relay 2. The angle at this CT1 is the theta 1, CT2 is the theta 2. The current supplying through the CT1 is the I1 and current leaving to the CT2 is the I2. That is the notation of a voltage balanced differential relay. Okay, the second disadvantage is the secondary side of our CT are open circuited because we are connected on in the opposite manner. So, because of this, what happened in order to maintain in order to maintain the linear characteristics, what I have told you, have to design a special design required for the cities. Okay, this is the second disadvantage. We require the special design for the cities. Okay, cities are made up of air cold. Generally, the cities are made up of air cold. Okay, in order to get the linear characteristics, even in the secondary side, high impedance is referred to the primary side. Okay, these are the disadvantages. So these disadvantages are overcome by using the translay relay. Okay, this is the modified version of a voltage balance differential relay. This is the voltage balance differential relay circuit diagram. The translay relay is the modified version of a differential relay. In the previous video lecture, I am explaining the voltage balance differential relay. Okay, I am already told the disadvantages of a voltage balanced differential relay. We are having the two major disadvantages in the voltage balanced differential relay. First disadvantage is it is applicable for the feeder lines. Voltage balanced differential relay is used in the feeder lines. Feeder means that we are using the long length. We are using the long length distribution system or transmission system. For we are using the length in the kilometers, then automatically the capacitance effect. This is the capacitance effect will be added in between the wire and the conductor. Okay, this is the capacitance effect. In between this we are taking the capacitance. That capacitance effect is also added. While increasing the current, automatically the capacitance IC is also increases. Okay, the main two disadvantages is the voltage balance differential relay is mal-operated. If the capacitive current of pillet wires are more than the pickup value, the IC is more than the pickup value, then the voltage differential relay is mal-operated. Okay, next disadvantage is the voltage balance is directly applied to the secondaries of the line CTs. This is the secondary of a line CT. That voltage balance is directly applied to the secondary of the line CTs, and hence special design of CT is required. Special design of CT is required. This is avoided by using the translay relay. These are the major two disadvantages of a voltage balanced differential relay. That two disadvantages are overcome by using this translay relay. Okay, first, so what is the translay relay? Why the name called the translay? Okay, because it is embodies the transformer features. It is called the translay because it embodies the transformer features. Then the name is called as the translay relay. That is the main reason for calling the translay relay. Okay, it embodies the transformer feature. Okay, next one is the primary coil is closed upon itself, so that why the CT secondary is closes, it carries the rated current. The construction is similar to that of a overcurrent relay. Okay, the constructional parts is also similar to the overcurrent relay. So little modifications are to be there, that will be discussed in later. Okay, the voltage balanced opposition is between the voltage induced in the secondary coil and relays, and not between the secondary line of the CTs. Okay, therefore the CTs have only supplying the primary relay coil. In that case, it supplies only the primary coil which is closed. CTs can be modified of normal design without any air gap. This permits the schemes to use for the feeder for often any voltage used for an feeder for of an any voltages. So a special design of CT is not required. That is the advantage when compared to that of a voltage balanced differential relay. Okay, that is a special design for CT is not required in the case of a translay relay. Okay, now coming to the construction, this is the diagram for the translay relay. Okay, this is the feeder line and this is the CT and this is also CT. We are taking the names as a 10, 11, 12 and also 18, 10 and CT2 we are taking that 10A and 11. Central limb name we are taking as primary 11 and we are taking the 11A and also secondary winding is named as the 12 and also 12A and this is the 18 and this is also 18A, we named as 18 and 18A. The lower limb will be taken as the 13 and a 13A. These are the pillet wires. This CT1 pillet wire secondary is connected to the second CT of the lower limb. Okay, now coming to the construction, it is similar to that of a overcurrent relay. This is the similar construction of a overcurrent relay, which is same, some little modifications are there. Okay, now we apply the I1 current at CT1. This is now we apply the I1 current in this case CT1, then I2 current in this CT2. The current induced in the two secondaries. The current induced in the two secondaries and that means this is the, in this case the current induced in the secondary. This is the secondary winding and this is the primary winding. The primary is connected to the CT and 11A is also connected to the 10A of CT. Okay, the secondary wire is connected to the second CT of the lower limb by using the pillet wires. In that the current induced is the small I1, we indicate the small I1. Okay, next in the current induced in the small CT2 is the I2. Okay, the differences, the phasor difference between these two currents are net current I1 minus I2 will be equal to 0. Okay, but this is the normal condition or without fault condition, but internal faults are obtained in the feeder line. Suppose we assume that any faults are obtained in the feeder line. Okay, that means the internal faults difference in the current, then the torque produced, and so that means there is some difference between the I1 and I2 currents. Therefore, the net current or algebraic sum of the currents is not equal to 0. Then automatically some current will be obtained. That current will be flowing to the coil and then the torque is, the disc will be rotated and then the torque is produced. Okay, this is the main principle of a translay relay. Okay, next one is in that we are using the one shaded ring. The purpose of a shading or the copper ring is produce the restraining torque. It depends on the current passing in the primary winding. So it depends on the current passing in the primary winding. Okay, construction means it consists of two identical double windings induction type relays fitted at either ends of the feeder. Okay, these are the feeder line. At either ends we are connecting the CTs. This is the CT1 and this is the CT2. At the either end of the feeder line we are connecting the two CTs. The primary circuits 11 and 11A of this relay supplied through a pair of current transformer 11 and 11A. Okay, this is the 11 and this is the 11A. Okay, supplies the pair of transformer current transformers. Okay, the secondary winding 12, 13 and 12A and 13A of two relays are connected in series by a pillet wires. Okay, this is the 12 and this is the 13. The 12 is connected to this lower limb and 13 is connected to this 13A. Okay. 13A and 12A are connected by the 12 and 13 and 12A and the 13 of the two relays are connected in series by a pillet wires. Okay, in such a way that voltage induced in the former opposition the other. Voltage induced in the former opposition the other. Okay, the compensating devices 18 and 18A neutralize the effect of fillet wire capacitance. The compensating devices of 18 and 18A neutralize the fillet effects of wire capacitance currents and of the inherent lack of a balance between the two current transformers. And answer balance of two current transformers. Okay, this is the construction of a translay relay. Okay, next coming to the operation under healthy condition, that means the no fault condition. In that situation, zero current will be flowing to the coil. Okay, no torque will be produced and no disc will be rotated. Okay, under normal operation or under healthy condition, the current at the two ends of a protected feeder is same and the primary winding of the relay carries the same current. In that case, the 11 and 11A carries the same current, and that means that there is no net current that will be equal to 0. That will be equal to 0. The difference between these two currents will be equal to the 0. That means no current will be flowing to the relay coil and then zero torque will be produced. Okay, the winding 11 and 11A induces equal ammeter in the secondary winding. Okay, 12 and 12A, 13 and 13A as the windings are so connected that their induces the voltages are in the opposition. Okay, therefore that windings are induces in the opposition direction. That means the I1 minus I2 current. Due to that opposition, the net current will be equal to the 0. That means the I1 minus I2 will be equal to the 0. Okay, that is the opposition, means the algebraic sum of the currents will be equal to the 0. Then I1 minus I2 will be equal to the 0. Therefore, no current flows through the pillet or operating coil and hence no torque will be exerted on the disc of either relays. On the disc of either relays. This is the under healthy condition or the no fault condition. Under this fault condition, the two currents are induced in this opposition. Therefore, the net current will be equal to 0. That means the no I1 minus I2 current will be equal to 0 and that is no current will be flowing through the relay. Okay, that is the zero current. That means the zero current and no torque will be produced. Therefore, no tripping circuit, no tripping signal is given to the circuit breaker. Okay, this is a healthy condition or no fault condition of a translay relay. Okay, next one is the under fault condition. Under fault condition means that if any fault will be obtained in the feeder line or internal fault. Okay, this is the feeder line. If any fault will be obtained in the internal of the feeder line, in this condition, the current leading of the feeder will differ from the current entering the feeder. Okay, current leaving the feeder will differ the current entering the feeder. Okay, therefore unequal voltages will be induced in the secondary winding. Due to that, unequal voltages will be induced in the secondary windings of the relay. Okay, and current will be circulated between the two windings, and the currents will be circulated between the two windings, causing the torque to be exerted on the disc of each relay, causing the torque to be exerted in each of the disc relay. Therefore, some torque will be produced due to the current leading the feeder will be differ from the current entering the feeder, will be differ from the current entering the feeder. This is the under fault condition of a translay relay, and this is the overall construction and operation of under normal and abnormal conditions of a translay relay, and this is the basic diagram, constructional diagram of a translay relay. Next one is the coming to the phasor diagram. Coming to the phasor diagram. Okay, this is the ES. The ES means the secondary induced EMF. ES means the secondary induced EMF. First one is the current passing in the primary winding, then automatically the flux phi will be induced. That flux, the current passing in the primary produce a flux pi because of EMF induced in the secondary lags by an angle of 90 degrees. The angle difference between the pi and ES is the 90 degrees. The current passes through the primary winding, produces a flux pi. Okay, this is the flux pi, a flux pi because of EMF induced. This is the EMF induced in the secondary that lags by 90 degrees. The angle between these two is the 90 degrees. Okay, the current passes in the secondary lags by ES, and phi 2 is produced. Okay, this is the ES, induced EMF. ES, induced EMF in the secondary winding. ES means the induced EMF in the secondary winding, and phi is the main field flux. Okay, next one is the IS. Okay, IS means when the current passes in the secondary lags the ES, and phi 2 is produced in the secondary. The angle is the phi and pi 2 is more than the 90 degrees. Is more than the 90 degrees. This is the phi 2. This lags the phi 2 is produced in the secondary. Okay, the angle between the phi and phi 2 is more than the 90 degrees. This is the angle between the phi and phi 2, that is more than the 90 degrees. Because of this torque net maximum, then we maintaining the angle near to the 90 degrees. Therefore, the pi flux by central limb of phi 1 phi 2 is the secondary. So adjust the shaded pole angle, then adjust the flux pi, then shifting to phi to the phi 1, then shifting to the phi to the phi 1. Then the angle between the phi 1 and phi 2 is the 90 degrees. Then automatically maximum torque will be produced in this condition. Okay, pi 2 is the secondary winding flux, and phi 1 is the flux from the central limb of a upper magnet. Next one is the ED. So that is the ED. Because of the ED, the current ID in phase with the ED. This is the ID. ID is the current in phase with the ID. Okay, EMF induced in the disc, that is the ED. EMF induced in the disc, that is the E. So adjust the shaded pole angle, then adjust the pi, then it is shifted to the pi 1. Okay, because of this phi 1, EMF induced in the disc, that is the ED. Because of this phi 1, the EMF induced in the disc, that is the ED. Okay, the current ID is in phase the ED. The current ID is in phase to the ED. ID is the EMF induced in disc due to the phi 1. ED is the EMF induced in the disc due to the phi 1. The ID and ED are in the phase. Because of the ED, the current ID in phase to the ED. Okay, the interaction of this ID and IS, the torque is produced. The interaction of this ID and IS, torque produced, and interaction of the fluxes phi 1 and phi 2, torque produced generally by an angle of beta, that is 90 degrees, by using the shaded ring. Okay, therefore the interaction of this ID and the IS, the torque is produced. Therefore, the interaction of these two fluxes and the interaction of these two fluxes phi 1 and phi 2, the torque is produced generally beta, that equal to 90 degrees, by using the shading ring. Then the torque is proportional to the phi 1 comma phi 2 sin beta. Okay, where beta is the 90 degrees. Then that is proportional to the ID IS. Okay, this is the phi 1 will be equal to the ID and phi 2 will be equal to the IS. Then sin beta, that means the 90 degrees. Then automatically we taken as the cos alpha. Okay, alpha equal to the 0 degrees. This alpha equal to the 0 degrees and beta equal to 90 degrees are obtained by using the shaded ring position. By using the shading ring position, beta will be equal to the 90 degrees. In that case only the torque will be produced, and also the alpha will be equal to the 0 degrees. Okay, this is the beta angle between the phi 1 and phi 2 is the beta angle. Okay, angle between this phi and ES is the 90 degrees. The angle between the phi 1 and the IED is the 90 degrees. Okay. Coming to the conclusion, the construction is similar to the overcurrent relay except that the secondary winding is not closed on itself. Okay, the overall construction is same as that of a overcurrent relay except the secondary winding is not closed on itself. Okay, and also central limb and left hand side of the limb of the upper electromagnets are shaded, and also in the case of the translay relay the upper electromagnets are shaded with short circuited thick copper rings. That upper magnets are shaded by using these copper rings. Okay, the purpose of these copper rings is to neutralize the effect of capacitive current. The purpose of these capacitive rings is to neutralize the capacitive currents. Okay, and then providing the restraining torque and compensate for the inequalities in characteristics of a series of large currents. Okay, the secondary winding is connected through the pillar twice to the secondary winding of the another relay. The secondary winding of these pillar wires are connected to the secondary winding of another relay in phase opposition, so that under normal condition and through the faults no current is flowing. Under normal operating conditions no current will be flowing through the relay coil. That means no torque will be produced. That is the net current will be equal to 0 under normal operating condition. That means there is no phase difference between these two currents of CT1 and the CT2. Then the 0 torque will be produced and automatically no currents will be flowing through the secondary winding, and hence T equal to 0, the relay will not be operated. Okay, in that case we are using the shaded ring on the left limb of the upper electromagnets providing the restraining force to compensate for the current characteristics of a CTC. In that case, we are using the shaded ring. The purpose of this shaded ring is to provide the reduce the angle between the phi 1 and the current. Okay, then automatically the beta angle will be near to equal to the 90 degrees, then the some torque will be produced, that will be obtained in the case of a internal fault situation. Okay, for internal faults, the current leaving the feeder differ from the current entering the feeder. The leaving the feeder is differ from the entering the feeder. Okay, that means for no fault condition, in the case of a no fault condition or external fault condition, entering current will be equal to the leaving current. That means I1 current will be equal to the I2 current. That means zero current will be flowing to the relay coil, therefore no torque will be produced for in the case of a external fault or no fault condition. Okay, but in the case of a internal fault, current leaving the feeder differ from the current entering the feeder. The current leaving the feeder is differed from the current entering the feeder. That means uneven voltages will be induced in the secondaries, and hence circulating currents in the secondaries will produce the torque. In the case of a internal fault condition, the circulating currents will be flowing in the coil. That means the algebraic sum of the currents will be not equal to the 0. That means net current is not equal to the 0. That means that will be obtained by in the internal fault conditions. If any internal faults are obtained, the entering current will not be equal to the leaving the current. There is some difference between the entering current and the leaving current. That means that there is some difference between the I1 and I2. That is when while taking the algebraic sum of this I1 and I2 current, some current will be obtained. Due to that current, some torque will be produced. Due to that torque, some EMF will be induced in the secondary coil. Then automatically the relay will, the tripping circuit may be closed, and then it gives the indication. Okay, since the direction of a secondary current will be opposition in two relays, since the direction of these currents will be in opposition to the two relays, only one relay will be operated which has a torque. Due to the torque, only one relay will be operated. Okay, due to the torque, one relay will be operated. So we are not required for any special design for the CT. Okay, so a special design of CT is not required. That is the one of the major advantage when compared to that of a voltage balanced differential relay. Normally in that case of normally as the air core CTs are to be used, but in the case of some disadvantages are obtained in the voltage balanced differential relays. To overcome these disadvantages, we will design the translay relays. Okay, by using these translay relays, who overcome this, disadvantages are obtained from the voltage balanced differential relay. Okay, this is the translay relay. In that case, we are not obtaining any special design for the CT. We are not required any special design for that CT. Okay, in that translay relay, we are having the under normal operating condition, the net currents will be equal to 0. Under normal operating condition, the net currents will be equal to the 0. That means no currents will be flowing to the relay coil. Under healthy conditions, no currents will be flowing through the relay coil. Okay, the windings in the 11 and 11A are induced in the equal and therefore no currents will be flowing through the relay coil. That means the net currents will be equal to the 0. That is the I1 minus I2 current will be equal to 0. That means the entering current will be equal to the leaving current. Automatically the entering current will be equal to the leaving current, means 0 current will be flowing through the relay coil. But if any internal faults are occur in that feeder line, in that situation, this is the feeder line. In that case, if any internal faults are to be obtained, in that situation the entering currents is differed from the leaving currents. That means if the current entering to the relay coil is the I1 and current leaving from the relay coil is the I2, there is some difference between the entering currents and the leaving currents. That means therefore we are taking the algebraic sum of these two currents. This is the CT1 and this is the CT2 when we are applying the I1 current in the CT and I2 current in the CT. Okay, in that case in the secondary winding central limb of the CT we are connecting this secondary limb, we will connect it to the second CT by using this pillet wires. Okay, this is the upper magnet and this is the lower magnet. In that case we are using the two constructional types of overcurrent relay. It is the construction is same as that of this overcurrent relay. Okay, constructionally we are having the same design, but only some special modifications are to be done in the case of a translay relay. Okay, this is the overall construction and working of a translay relay. By using this translay relay, we overcome the disadvantages are obtained in the voltage balance differential relay. The disadvantages are to be overcome by using this translay relay. First, the name will be obtained in the translay. Why we are called as the translay means the why you are called the translay means that it embodies the transformer, it embodiments the transformer. That means we are that means the why the translay relay is called as, that means because it is the embodies of the transformer futures, then the name will be obtained translay relay. Okay, by using this translay relay the disadvantages are obtained in the voltage balanced relays are to be overcome by using this type of relay. By constructionally the translay relay have same constructional parts and some modifications are to be obtained for the overcurrent relays. Constructionally we are having the same procedure, but some modifications are to be done in the translay relay. That modifications are to be discussed are also to be discussed. By using this translay relay we are not required for the any special cities, but in the case of external faults, no zero currents will be flowing through the relay coil and relay does not operated. But in the case of a voltage balanced differential relays, we are mal operating the relay coil. We mal operating the relay coil. That disadvantage is to be overcome by using this translay relay, because these relays are used for the feeder lines. Feeder means that we are having the very long lines, very long length that is in the kilometers. Then that's why we are using the translay relay. That the disadvantages are to be obtained in the voltage balanced differential relays are overcome by using this translay relay. This is the main advantages of a translay relay. These translay relays are used in the feeder line same as that of a voltage balanced differential relay. So okay, this is the main construction, operation and phasor diagram, how the torque will be produced and what are the parameters are to be considered for producing the torque, how the torque will be changed, that will be that also be discussed in this video lecture. Okay, this is the one of the major advantage of a feeder protection. By using this transistor relay, we perfectly protect the feeder line. Okay, and no maloperations will be obtained in the case of a translay relay like voltage balanced differential relay. But in the case of a voltage balanced differential relay, maloperation of a maloperations, if capacitive currents of a pillet wise are more than the pickup value, then the relay will be maloperated. The disadvantages are to be overcome by using this translay relay. Okay, this is the construction and working of a translay relay. Okay, thank you.